Preparing. All right. Hey, there it is. We're there. We're live. Hey, what's up, Ward Wrestling Live? We're here. It's the 4:00 hour. Another day wrapping up here, and we've got an amazing wrestling coach, amazing wrestling recruiter, another Florida guy doing big things in our country. So that's amazing. He is Coach Nate Engel. He's the assistant at Oregon State. Just got there about 10 minutes ago, but he's ready to do some real big things there. He spent the last 6 years between the Navy and Stanford. So real awesome programs there, but he is a Florida State runner-up at Pasco. So shout out to Pasco, 4-time NAIA qualifier and All-American. And that was where?
Missouri Valley College.
Missouri Valley College. So shout out to them. NAIA doing big things there. 2-time USA national team member, WCap with the Army. And he was the Greco USA Coach of the Year in 2019. And he's with us today. So, hey, welcome. Thanks, Coach Engel, for coming on. I know you're busy with the transition, so I'm honored to have you here. How are you, sir?
Good. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Excited to talk about wrestling and the sport that we all love. So appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So obviously you've got a change in scenery this year, going from Stanford to Oregon. So you seem to only go to places that are really nice, like Annapolis, Stanford, and then up in Oregon State. I'm sure the beauty there. So you tend to find some good, attractive spots. So good for you. But talk about this off season and the crazy times and what you've been doing to keep yourself involved.
Yeah, so obviously I got hired about a month and a half ago at Oregon State. So been busy, we're finding a house to move into and moving up here this last week. But yeah, just staying busy talking to recruits, on a lot of USA Wrestling Zoom calls with women's freestyle and greco, helping any way I can. I've been doing a lot of Zoom workouts with Adeline Gray and a bunch of the other ladies, just putting them through workouts once a week, like stance and motion stuff. So just trying to stay busy any way I can, and then running on my own to just, stay active.
Man, that's awesome. And keeping those girls rolling, huh?
Yeah.
And good for you. So it probably keeps you a little sane too, jumping on these Zooms and keeping your mind working.
Yeah, no, it's been good. I mean, we've had a lot of Zoom calls, especially, with recruits, just because we can't have them on campus. So we've been trying to help them, see our staff and, do all that. So it's been good. But yeah, like you said, I mean, I love my wife and love hanging out with her, spending a lot of good time, but it's also nice to talk some wrestling as well.
Yeah, I bet. And I'm guessing that all these recruiting budgets are going to be put into like a pizza party or something when the recruits get there, because you're not flying anywhere, you're not going anywhere. Everything is virtual, right? So maybe you'll have a nice big pizza party or something when they come to town. That's awesome. Well, I guess first talk about you a little bit. I know that you wrestled in high school, then you went on to have a great college career, and then you went into USA Wrestling. So you wrestled a lot of the Maccabi games for USA, and you wrestled for the late Chris Fetter, who we just lost. And talk about how amazing it was being a part of the Maccabi games, getting to travel the world. Rest in peace, Coach Fetter. I had him on. He spoke about how taking young men across the sea and seeing Israel and all these places just can change lives. So first, tell us how amazing it was being a USA wrestler, wearing that, getting the opportunity to travel, what wrestling did for you, and then, obviously what Chris meant to wrestling.
Yeah, no, obviously I've been to a ton of countries, and I think I've been really lucky because of wrestling, to take me to so many different countries and world championships and go to the Olympics with Spencer Mango. So, I think wrestling, it's such a great sport, but it can take you to so many different places. And, one of my favorite countries I've ever been to was Cuba, but, obviously Cuba is really good at wrestling, but it made you appreciate what you have. There were guys on the mat with like socks on that were, kicking the crap out of some of us. And, they can't even leave their country, unless they're the number one guys. So I've just been lucky, but Israel was incredible. My grandparents, moved after the Holocaust. A lot of my family died in the Holocaust, and my dad was first generation, born in the States, and my aunt. And so when my grandparents passed away, I always wanted to do the Maccabi games. And so in 2013, I went, won both styles. And then in 2017, I went and took bronze in both. But I had kind of been like done with wrestling as far as competing, but my wife convinced me, hey, go compete one last time. And Coach Feder had called me. He's known my dad forever and was like, hey, I'm the head coach. Why don't you come compete one last time? And it was a lot of fun. But Israel's an unbelievable country. I tell people, it doesn't matter your religion, what you believe in, you have to go to Israel. You have to check it out. But there was just a lot of great things over there. The wrestling was kind of like secondary. But seeing, the land was really cool. And then hanging out with wrestlers that don't even speak the same language, and being able to kind of share a bond that we have through wrestling was really good. But yeah, Chris, unfortunately, passed away this last week. But like I was saying, he was like a grandpa to everybody. He called me weekly. He was talking about my kids that are about to be born, and but he was just always a good person to talk to that cared about wrestling and changing people's lives.
But that's awesome, man. And it's it's good. Yeah. I mean, I had the with this new show that I started April 6th. Somebody sent me a link to the Maccabi games. I reached out to the link. They sent me his information. I sent him mine. My phone rang, and it was him. And he's, in typical New Yorker fashion, he's like, hey, yeah, this is Chris Feder. I'm like, who? Chris Feder, wrestling. You wanted to talk to me? I'm like, sure. Want to do it now? I'm like, no, we're on the phone. And he's like, okay, when do you want to do it? So I'm like, all right, well, anytime you want. Like, here's my calendar, right? And he came on, and we messed with the thing for like 20 minutes. He couldn't figure out how to get the camera to work. And he was laughing. He's like, damn camera, I can't figure out how to work. I'm 70 something years old, right? I'm like, can't figure it out. He's like, you want to just do it another time? I'm like, no, I'll just throw a picture of you up. And thank God I said that, right? So,
right.
And I got to spend 18 or 20 minutes with him, and we probably could have talked for hours. And and it was just cool, the stories he told me, the things about wrestling, and you could see that his love for just everyone kind of poured out. So huge loss for wrestling, and anybody that was around him, I'm sure, is better for it. So cool. Mm-hmm. And man, talk about wrestling doing something amazing for a kid and getting the opportunity to travel the world. So totally cool. And then you got to train under another, I guess, legend with Ivan Ivanov, and the whole training center up there. And is it Northern Michigan? I think I just talked to Betterman, spoke about it.
Yeah.
You and Betterman are like Greco gods, right? Like, you guys are like big Greco coaches. So talk about getting the opportunity to be with him up there.
Yeah. So I when I was in Missouri, right before I graduated, I met Spencer Mango. We were both coaching Team Missouri, and his brother Ryan was wrestling like 88 pounds at Fargo. So Spencer was getting ready, I think, for the Junior World Championships. And so, we were about the same weight. I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm like, sure, I want to wrestle. And so Yvonne was up at Fargo and started, talking to me after we had been working out. He said, hey, when you graduate, why don't you come up to Northern Michigan? We'll see how you do for a semester, and then we can put you on scholarship. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, I thought I was going to go sell life insurance from my dad. And I thought, well, this is a good opportunity. So that first semester I was up there, like January, I moved into Joe Betterman's apartment, lived on his couch, went to the Open that year. My first time, I finished sixth. And, when I first got up there, I had no clue what I was doing in Greco, but wrestling with guys like Spencer and Joe, you quickly learn that you need to learn how to defend yourself. And, they were making world teams already. We had, some guys up there that were winning senior level medals. Everybody up there, besides a handful of us, were on the national team. So, Yvonne is an incredible coach. He truly knows how to take like that foreign Greco style and take an American and teach him how to do it. His technique is unbelievable. His front headlock, we learned, I mean, just so much. And then Jim Grunwald, who's two-time Olympian, was our assistant coach. And the room was just, I mean, it was like a bunch of like dogs, trying to fight for a piece of meat up there. And, a lot of good battles up there. So, I'm forever grateful to have been coached by Yvonne for 2 years while I was up there. He's an incredible human being, but just what a great coach he is.
Awesome. Coach DeArmas, he said Mervyn L. Ford Esquire. I
Yeah.
don't know what that means, but it must be something funny.
Yeah, Yvonne had nicknames for everybody, and he would always mess with Merv. I was only with Merv for about a few months before he moved back to Florida, but he loved Merv.
Yeah, Tim Maple, Nate, my man, hello from your Pasco family. Love you, bro.
Yeah, Coach Maple, he's a man. He's doing some great things.
Cool. Well, it sounds like you had a lot of fun up there, and so you end up at the Navy in Annapolis. That must have been an amazing experience for you to be there and with that program. And then you ended up out in California at the California RTC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were coaching a lot of the USA wrestlers and wrestling yourself.
Right. Yeah, so I went up to Navy. I was there for 4 years. I was under Joel Sherritt, who wrestled for the Hawkeyes, was a 3-time NCAA finalist and national champ for Dan Gable. And I met him when he was at the Air Force Academy. I was still in the Army, and he took the head job at Navy. And I thought, wow, this is an incredible opportunity to be able to get my coaching career started, but also at a place like Navy with so much history and tradition, not just wrestling, but obviously in the military, because that's the number one reason, why you're going there is to serve your country, but get a great education and get a great job when you graduate. So it was an incredible 4 years. I mean, I've met some of the best people. I'm still very close to all the wrestlers that I've graduated. Jared Prince, who was a great wrestler in Florida, and Connor Prince from Palm Harbor. I got to coach them. They just both graduated this past May from the Naval Academy, and just an incredible place. And then I got the opportunity to come to Stanford. I grew up in California, about 2 hours from Stanford. I was born at the hospital there. So, got to coach with Jason Borelli. He's a great coach. Been there, I think, for, I want to say 13 years now. Ray Blake, who's the associate head coach, who went to Stanford and then has been coaching for 12 years there. And then Alex Terrapelli, who wrestled at the University of Illinois and had a great career. His dad's the head coach at Clovis. Storied high school program, but it was great to learn from those guys. This past year we had Shane Griffith and Real Woods. They're both number 3 seeds going to the NCAA tournament, which unfortunately was canceled, but we had 5 NCAA qualifiers, won a Pac-12 title the year before my first year. So it was a great opportunity. Got to coach some world teams while I was there as well. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, talk about coaching coast to coast, huh?
Yeah, seriously. I don't recommend driving coast to coast, but my wife and I did that.
Outstanding. Yeah, my sister-in-law, when she got out of college, master's program, athletic training, she did that program where you travel the country.
Oh, okay.
And, so she left from here and went all the way to San Francisco.
Wow.
So she did that. Jake Campbell, my dude, Nate Engel, Daniel Ward will get him to Tampa for a camp. Daniel
Sounds
Ward,
good.
we will get him to Tampa for a camp and then take him to St. Pete Brewing. Woo! I like it. Awesome. And that'll be fun. So, okay, we're at Oregon State now, man. Now you got a job to do. Talk about your goals at Oregon State and why you think you could make a difference there.
Yeah. So when Chris got hired, you look at his track record, he's been very successful, obviously as a wrestler, but as a college coach as well. At Wyoming, they finished 7th in the country. Arizona State, when they took over, they were like 60th in the country. And then obviously now at Oregon State. So he had called me and I was pretty interested. His vision right away, he sold me on it. He said, look, winning's going to come, but right away we need to start building men of character, right? And we got really lucky with the team that we acquired from the old staff. We have a great team coming back this next year. But truly, when we get a college student as a freshman, whether they're in school for 4 to 5 years, Chris talks about it. It's like the holistic development, right? There's 3 things. There's, them growing as a man. Number 2, their academics. And number 3, their social life. And so we want to be able to touch their lives when mom and dad send them to us. We want to make sure, number 1, they're going to graduate from college because that's the most important thing. course we want him to be a 4-time national champ or All-American or Olympian or whatever their future holds wrestling. But number one, if they're living the right lifestyle and getting good grades, becoming a better man and living the right lifestyle, the X's and the O's, that's going to be a lot easier. Excuse me. So, he sold me on that right away. And then hiring, Isaiah Martinez, people know him as Imar, and then Coach Kasoy from NC State. I knew we had a really good family as a staff. And so then you look at the history and the tradition of Oregon State wrestling. They've won a ton of Pac-12 titles. They're one of 2 schools west of the Mississippi, Oregon State and Arizona State that have won a Division I national title. Now, granted, that was a long time ago, but they've had Olympians. They've had world medalists. So they've had a lot, NCAA champs, Hodge Trophy winners. So there's a lot of history in Oregon State wrestling. We're the only Division I school in the Pacific Northwest. So right away I was like, I'm sold. Let's do this. Let's build this thing and build it the right way and get the right kids in here to help us build another, big tradition and keep growing that.
And that's awesome. So you're known you're known as a big time recruiter in the wrestling world, and now you're bringing those skills to Oregon State.
Right.
So, what do you got?
Oh no, I was just sorry, I burped.
Oh, that's cool. So now you're bringing those skills to Oregon State. So talk about the type of athlete you'll be looking at, and if I'm a recruit out in the country right now and I wrestle, why should I be a Beaver?
Number one, I mean, the tradition, the past history of Oregon State wrestling. Like I said, they've been very, very successful. We have a huge endowment for the wrestling program. Our assistant athletic director, he's from Pittsburgh. He's a big time wrestling fan, and getting to know him, I've realized that, they really want to see wrestling be successful. I feel like, we have the right tools to be successful as a program. So, the guys that we have on the team, Devin Turner, who's our 33-pounder, he was an All-American this past year. The Willits brothers, Brandon Kaler, our 25-pounder. I'm probably forgetting a bunch of guys' names, but, they have a really good culture, and getting to know those guys, I'm like, wow, these recruits are going to love these guys. They're going to be much more than just a wrestler on a wrestling team. We want all 1 to 36 of the wrestlers to matter, because when you go to the Pac-12 championships, you only have 10 guys. And when you go to the NCAAs, you only have X amount of guys. So those other, 26 guys, they have to feel a part of the team and feel like that they belong and that they're giving something to the program to help their training partners and to get good grades. So, we're looking for the whole student athlete, somebody that excels in school, that has big dreams and goals both on the mat and in the classroom. And, as long as they fit a part of our program and we feel like that they're the right person, then we're going to, take them on board. So, recruiting is going really good. We've been super busy. Last Monday was the first time we could contact juniors. So, just been busy with that every day, calling recruits, texting recruits, Zoom calls. So, but yeah, I think a lot of guys, they're excited. There's a lot of buzz about Oregon State wrestling, so we got to jump on it while the coals are hot. It's pretty amazing when you get on a Zoom call and Isaiah gets on and they're like, oh man, that's Imar. Like I took a picture with him when I was a little kid, and they're kind of like starstruck. But when they get to know Isaiah, who he is, then they're like, wow, he's, phenomenal human being. And same thing with Chris Pendleton. He had some big battles with Ben Askren in his college days that right now Flo's been talking a lot about. And luckily Chris got the better of those 2 national titles wrestling him. And Coach Kasoy, who was a senior level athlete, was behind Gwizdowski at NC State and then qualified for the NCAAs his senior year and doing some good things on the freestyle side. So, I mean, hopefully people see how genuine we are and how much we care about their son. And, we're just excited for the future.
Awesome. Well, good for you. And before I get into my 10 questions, talk a little bit about Florida wrestling and where it's come from when you were a young man down here wrestling to what it is today.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's come a long way. I mean, Jared Frere, who coaches at Virginia Tech, Florida guy, David Craig, who went to Lehigh, had a very successful career from Brandon, the Cozarts. I'm probably forgetting Scotty Sentez. different people like that. Zach Sherman, who's at UNC. There's a lot of great wrestling in Florida. And I think, the club system has grown so much since I left Florida. And I think that's had a huge impact on the culture of wrestling in Florida. And they're doing a lot more, national tournaments, and you see a lot of high schools traveling outside of the state. So, there's a lot of good kids coming out of Florida, and, hopefully more college coaches take notice of it, because they've got some really good athletes that are coming through. And obviously graduating from a high school in Florida, it couldn't make me more proud. And, I have a lot of buddies that are still coaching in Florida right now. So I'm always on the phone with them and, picking their brain. And, but yeah, it's a great state. I mean, the wrestling is getting very, very, very good right now.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that. And your buddy Jake is just sounding off, man. Wait till that dude really locks in and gets a full recruiting year in, and then excuse me, few can connect with every type of kid from any background like Nate. That's what makes him a great recruiter. And then he said, also, he has twins on the way, so he's got 125 and 133 filled out 18 years from now. And they tagged Mervyn L. Fort, so now he's on. He just put this guy.
Yeah, Merv's the man. No, they're all good people. I've been lucky enough in wrestling to come across some really good people that have helped me become who I am today as a coach and a wrestler. And, without those people, I wouldn't be where I am today. So just been super, super blessed to have those people in my life.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you kick ass up there in Oregon State. So
thanks.
Keep that wrestling going. So, all right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
BGR or Gordon Biersch?
I'd say Gordon Biersch, because growing up, we used to eat the garlic fries at the Giants games with my dad.
Cool. Annapolis or Stanford?
Man, that's tough, because they're both like great places for different reasons.
All right, so both. Okay, we'll keep you politically correct there. All right, Maryland seafood or Cali seafood?
I'd say Maryland seafood, because they got the crab cakes.
Which is my next question. Maryland crab cakes or San Francisco Bay shrimp?
Crab cakes.
Mission District in San Francisco or Eastport in Annapolis?
I would say the Mission District, just because I love going to Giants games. They're my favorite team in the world, and I could spend all day down there and go to a Giants game. So
cool. All right. San Francisco abalone or Roanoke oysters out in Maryland?
Oysters for sure.
Love it. Ravens or Niners?
Niners, 100%. My favorite team, hands down. Chris Pendleton, big Niners fan. So, last year's Super Bowl was a little disappointing, but we'll get back.
Cali pizza or deep dish?
Deep dish. I'd probably say deep dish, because I'd get a lot of flack if I said California pizza.
All right. So on one coast you got In-N-Out, and on the other coast you got Way Back.
In-N-Out, 100%. Love their French fries.
All right. So here it is: the Chesapeake blue crab or the Cali Dungeness crab?
The blue crab. Yeah, blue crab. My wife's from Pennsylvania, and we used to always get together and have a bunch of the blue crabs. It was a lot of fun.
It's amazing when I was looking at San Francisco and Maryland, since that's the area you're in. It's amazing how much they have in common as far as both being coastal towns, seafood towns,
right.
Different types of fish. It was pretty cool. It was a little bit easier to do my 10 questions, because they had so much
similarity
in common. Yeah, especially Annapolis has these cool little areas and these pockets I was reading about. So pretty cool. That was fun. And thank you so much. I mean, I'm absolutely honored to get to talk to you and get to meet you. And I hope that the show is helping, and I hope people are getting to meet people around the country, and especially out of our state, and seeing there's a lot of super awesome people in this sport.
No, it's great. I mean, we're all biased, but wrestling is the greatest sport in the world. And, there's a lot of people that have done some great things after the wrestling career is done because of wrestling. So, what you're doing with this has been amazing. It's been great to hear all these great people talk about the sport that we all love so much. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, for sure. And any of your fellow coaches or Oregon State folks that want to come on, feel free. I definitely wouldn't turn away Imar.
Yeah, he's awesome. You got to have him on too. He's great.
Yeah, man. Well, I can use your help with that. So let me know. And that would be awesome. Thank you so much, sir. And good luck with the transition. Good luck with the move. I know moving sucks. It's just horrible, but got to do it, especially in your lifestyle. So have fun.
Yeah,
And I hope to see you down south sometime.
absolutely. And best of luck to you guys.
Thank you. You have a great day and a great week.
Thanks.